Ken Jennings has ripped into a Jeopardy! Viewer who disagreed with how he pronounced a recent clue. The Twitter user accused the TV host of saying appellation incorrectly, to which he wrote back, "You guys lost the war." On March 22's Jeopardy! Episode, then-champ Melissa Clapper had landed on a daily double under the category Apply the Rainbow. Ken, 48, read the clue. The highest point in South Carolina, the 3,500-foot Sassafras Mountain, is part of this Appalachian range. Melissa, who wound up winning 3 games and $59,000 total, incorrectly guessed the Blue Mountains. The desired response was the Blue Ridge Mountains. The fan was, however, bothered by Ken's oration and tweeted his way, "How many times, at Ken Jennings? How many times? #SayItRight #Appalachian." Ken tweeted back, "You guys lost the war and now the North writes the dictionaries." He then linked to Webster's dictionary, which backed up his claim he said the mountain range correctly, @middle.paul_law_Kian. Condescending as hell. Many of Ken's followers felt that even if Ken was in the right, he went a little further than called for in his reply. "Oh Ken. That's actually kinda icky, bro," one user responded to him. "That face when you won a million rounds of Jeopardy and don't know where Appalachia starts," wrote another. "Literally has nothing to do with the Confederacy, you best delete this Ken. Lost a load of respect for ya on this one," wrote a third. "Not only is this take moronic, it's also condescending as hell," wrote a fourth. A fifth said, "Dude, that was way too savage a clap back this early in the morning." A sixth person didn't mind and wrote, "My god, you guys are softer than Martin's dinner rolls. His pronunciation is accepted by the dictionary, case closed. Maybe Buzzy can attend to your wife." While Ken is never shy in correcting fans on Twitter when they clock him for rulings or moments they don't like, they also felt he went too far in another instance last month. Ken and alum Buzzy Cohen were going back and forth on the platform when a fan buzzed into the conversation. "No offense Ken, but my wife would love Buzzy to host. I am glad to hear you'll be back hosting 3/10, but I'll have to hear her complain that you talk too fast, making it difficult for her to understand. Help us out and slow it down a notch," the fan wrote. Ken wrote back, "Never. But maybe Buzzy can come over to your house and attend to your wife?" The fan was clearly hurt by Ken's words and had a reply of their own to lob back. They tweeted, "I was just offering constructive criticism. But you insult my wife, Buzzy, and me. Even a fool can appear wise when he keeps his mouth shut. At Jeopardy should reconsider your future." 74-time winner Ken is largely still preferred to co-host mayim Bialik, 47. They were announced as the co-successors for the late, great Alex Trebek over the summer. Ken is hosting until April 28, at which point mayim will return on May 1 and ride out the last 4 months of the season. Fans will still get more of Ken as he is hosting Jeopardy! Masters, a round-robin 20-episode tournament in primetime on ABC. The special is airing starting on May 8. It includes legends like James Holzhauer, Amy Schneider, and Matej Roach. Ken Jennings was in the hot seat again, this time, not for a tricky Final Jeopardy! Clue, but for the way he pronounced a word. As the beloved host of Jeopardy!, Jennings has won over millions with his quick wit, encyclopedic knowledge, and ability to handle contestant blunders with humor and grace. But on this particular night, it was an online viewer, not a contestant, who took issue with him. The pronunciation controversy. The episode in question was going smoothly, contestants were locked in a fierce battle, navigating categories ranging from world capitals to classic novels. But when Jennings read a clue involving a common but often mispronounced word, an eagle-eyed, or rather, eagle-eared, fan took to social media to express their disapproval. "Ken Jennings just butchered that pronunciation," the fan ranted on X, formerly Twitter. "I thought Jeopardy! Was all about accuracy? What a disgrace." The tweet quickly gained traction, with some agreeing and others defending Jennings. While most hosts might have ignored the comment, Ken Jennings isn't most hosts. Ken's epic clapback. Rather than let the criticism slide, Jennings responded with his signature mix of intelligence and humor. "Oh no. Looks like I'll have to turn in my Jeopardy! Hosting badge. Wait. Do I have one of those? And does it have the correct pronunciation embroidered on it?" Jennings quipped in response. His reply sent fans into a frenzy, with many praising his ability to handle criticism with humor. "This is why I love Ken Jennings," one fan wrote. "He's hilarious even when dealing with complainers." Another added, "You got roasted by a Jeopardy! Legend. Hope it was worth it." But the original critic wasn't backing down. Doubling down on their stance, They fired back. Jokes aside, Ken, as a host of an educational show, you have a responsibility to say things correctly. You should acknowledge when you're wrong. Was Ken actually wrong? As the debate raged on, linguistic experts and grammar nerds began analyzing the pronunciation in question. It turned out that Jennings' pronunciation wasn't incorrect, just one of two widely accepted variations. A well-known English professor even chimed in, saying, "Language evolves, and many words have multiple pronunciations depending on region, dialect, and historical use." Ken was not wrong. Despite this, some fans still sided with the critic, believing that Jeopardy! Should be held to a higher standard of linguistic perfection. Ken's final word. As the conversation continued, Jennings eventually put the matter to rest in classic Jeopardy! Fashion. He tweeted, "I'll take unnecessary controversies for $1,000. Answer, a word that can be pronounced two different ways, causing an online uproar. Question, what is this entire debate?" His response once again won over the majority of fans, with thousands of likes and shares. The disgruntled viewer, perhaps realizing they were outmatched in wit, eventually stopped replying. The bigger picture. This wasn't the first time Jennings had to deal with criticism as host, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. Since taking over full-time hosting duties, he's faced everything from minor pronunciation disputes to full-blown debates over rulings on the show. Despite the occasional online squabble, Jennings remains one of the most beloved Jeopardy! Figures of all time. His ability to keep things lighthearted while maintaining the show's intellectual integrity is what makes him the perfect host. As for whether he'll ever mispronounce something again? Well, as Jennings himself might say, the answer is highly likely.